Welcome back to Hollywood Buzzing, where tennis isn't just a sport, it's a full-blown cinematic experience. And today's feature presentation is none other than a thunderous showdown between Elena Rybakina and Dayana Yastremska at the Montreal Open 2025. A match that had the tennis world holding its breath and every spectator clinging to every serve, swing, and scream in what quickly turned into a battle of sheer willpower, grit, and world-class athleticism. And right from the moment both players stepped onto the court under a bright Canadian sky, there was a tension in the air, a buzz that hinted something epic was about to unfold, and neither woman disappointed, with Yastremska serving first and making an immediate statement with 3 unreturnable serves to start the match, bringing heat and variety that had Rybakina adjusting early. And it was clear Yastremska wasn't here just to compete. She was here to conquer, playing with urgency, blasting down the line forehands, and stepping into returns with a fearless confidence that earned her a break in the opening game, silencing those who doubted her ability to stand toe-to-toe with one of the most consistent power players on the tour. But if there's one thing we know about Elena Rybakina, it's that she never panics. She studies her opponents like a chess master and makes surgical mid-match adjustments. And that's exactly what she did, dialing back on pace, adding more topspin to neutralize Yastremska's depth and gradually shifting momentum by forcing errors with heavy cross-court exchanges and calculated aggression. And after breaking back to level the set 2-2, she let out a soft exhale. Not a celebration, but a signal that she was now fully locked in. And from there we saw some of the finest baseline rallies of the entire tournament, with both players exchanging 20, 30, even 35-shot rallies that tested their legs, lungs, and focus as each tried to find a crack in the other's armor, and yet neither cracked not. Then at least, as the set stayed on serve with long deuce battles, let chords, net duels, and moments where both players were forced to invent shots on the fly, and it was tennis at its most primal and brilliant, fast, instinctual, raw. And at 5-5 the turning point finally arrived when Rybakina, after saving 2 break points with back-to-back aces, changed pace entirely and threw in a disguised drop shot that caught Yastremska flat-footed and changed the entire rhythm, allowing her to hold and then pounce in the next game as she anticipated a second serve, stepped inside the baseline and ripped a return winner to bring up set point, then converted it with a forehand laser that kissed the sideline, taking the first set 7-5 in 59 minutes of relentless, edge-of-your-seat tennis. And even as Rybakina walked calmly to her bench, there was no sense of comfort. She knew this match was far from over, and true to form, Yastremska came out for set 2 with a vengeance, holding to love in her, opening service game and pumping her fist with each clean winner. And she started mixing up her pace, bringing Rybakina forward with short slices and then hitting behind her to open up the court, a tactic that started paying dividends immediately, especially in the 4th game when she broke serve with a screaming backhand pass that drew a roar from the crowd. And suddenly the dynamic shifted again, with Rybakina slightly off balance and Yastremska playing with fire in her eyes, chasing every ball, grunting with each stroke, and creating opportunities with relentless energy and tactical risk-taking that pushed the Kazakh star into defensive mode. And though Rybakina fought valiantly, saving 2 set points and forcing multiple deuces, it wasn't enough to stop the Yastremska freight train in the second set, which she took 6-3 with a signature overhead slam that sent the ball deep into the stands. And now we were headed for a decider, one set to determine who would move forward and who would walk away. And in that third set the drama intensified as both players raised their level yet again, knowing there was no room for hesitation or error. And what followed was a true masterclass in mental toughness as each game turned into a war of attrition, every rally a battle of will and endurance. And though Rybakina started strong with a hold to love, Yastremska answered with a monster service game of her own, including a second serve ace and a 20-shot rally that ended with her dropping to one knee after a spinning backhand pass down the line. And it was that kind of match, grueling, spectacular, and full of the kind of moments that keep fans coming back. And as the set moved to 3-3, both players looked physically spent but emotionally defiant, pushing through. cramps, heavy breathing, and mental exhaustion to deliver some of the most jaw-dropping points of the tournament, including one exchange where Rybakina slipped during a rally, recovered, chased down a lob, and somehow turned defense into a cross-court winner that left the crowd screaming and her opponent shaking her head in disbelief. And if you were looking for a Hollywood buzzing-worthy finish, this third set delivered, with the score tied at 5-5, both players having exchanged breaks and nerves creeping into every service motion, every swing, every ball toss, and then came the pivotal 11th game, Rybakina serving, tension sky-high, and what followed was a masterpiece, an 11-minute game featuring 3 deuces, 2 challenge overrules, and a behind-the-back volley attempt that didn't land but earned a standing ovation nonetheless. And somehow, Rybakina held, ending the game with a gutsy serve and volley play that caught Yastremska by surprise and gave her a crucial 6-5 lead. And with the match now in her hands, she returned with laser focus, stepping in on returns, forcing errors, and finally, on her third match point, delivering a cross-court backhand that skidded just over the net and died in the corner, leaving Yastremska no time to react and sealing the match 7-5, 3-6, 7-5 in 2 hours and 41 minutes of pure tennis theater. And as the crowd rose in thunderous applause, both players met at the net in mutual respect, exhausted but proud of what they'd just delivered on one of the sport's biggest stages. And for fans of tennis, this wasn't just a match. It was a showcase of everything beautiful and brutal about the game. Precision, pressure, power, and poise. And in the post-match interview, Rybakina, ever composed, credited her team, the crowd, and her opponent, saying, "Matches like this make you better. Dayana played incredible. I had to stay mentally tough, and I'm proud I could find a way through." While Yastremska, visibly emotional but gracious, thanked the fans and vowed to come back stronger. And that's exactly the spirit that defined this match. Not just who won, but how it was fought with intensity, heart, and incredible respect. And here at Hollywood Buzzing, we live for moments like these, because they remind us that tennis is more than numbers and rankings. It's personal battles, shifting momentum, and those rare matches where every single point feels like it matters. And if this was just a glimpse of what's coming in the back half of the 2025 season, we are in for an unforgettable ride with players like Rybakina and Yastremska pushing the sport forward with fearless tennis and unforgettable performances. And as the Montreal sun set behind the stadium and the crowd slowly filed out, the buzz remained, the kind of buzz only a classic match can create, and we'll be talking about this one for weeks too. Come, breaking down the stats, the tactics, the resilience, and what this means for both players moving into the US Open Series and beyond. So stay locked in with Hollywood Buzzing for exclusive coverage, in-depth analysis, and more highlights as the WTA Tour continues to deliver blockbuster-level competition week after week. And whether you're a longtime fan or a new follower of the sport, this is the kind of match that reminds us why we love tennis. Not just the shots, but the storylines, the rivalries, and the passion that every player brings to the court. And in Elena Rybakina and Dayana Yastremska, we saw 2 fearless warriors battling not just each other, but their own limits, and in doing so, they gave us a moment in tennis history that will be replayed, rewatched, and remembered. So don't go anywhere, because this is just the beginning of what's shaping up to be one of the most thrilling seasons on tour. And as always, you'll catch every ace, break, and buzzer-beating baseline winner right here on Hollywood Buzzing.